Good evening. Oh. What to do, what to do, what to do, what to do. Campfire stories in the dark, yeah. Dude, flash fried. We did flash fried today. And can I just say that it ruined my fucking whole day? I mean, maybe not ruin my whole fucking day, but it put me in a mood, dude. It put me in a mood. I pity the fool. I truly do. I'm just done, dude. I'm done with ineffectual fucking politicians. I'm done with living in a country that can't figure out the basics. I'm done living in a place that exploits me and everybody else besides. What a nightmare. I want to the best of my ability to ignore everything going on outside of me and my little bubble here, but you can't do that. You can only do that, I guess, to a certain extent, would be a better way of putting it. Delivered a pizza to a Target today, and there was a girl having a breakdown in the break room, and the Target was packed. Yeah. Shit's coming apart at the seams. Shit's genuinely coming apart at the seams. $6 months to pass a measly $600 check. I mean, that's going to do less than nothing for the people that really need it. And for the people that don't, it'll be just wasted, frittered away. And most of the money from that stimulus package will end up going to absurd things like foreign aid for countries just to piss off China, or pork barrel projects tacked on. Fucking sad. $600 to pay your share of the rent for a month. Hey, there you go. If you tip a waiter 5 cents, that's more insulting than tipping nothing. The same principle applies to the stimulus bill. Yeah. Just like, if your bill at the waiter is $10 and or this is like $9.80, and you leave a 10, you know. That's like worse than just writing "fuck you" on the receipt in the tip spot. You know what I mean? Like the fact that $600 per was even discussed is beyond fucking tragic and insulting. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Decided to try and play some Cyberpunk to wind down, you know, take out some aggression. But that game doesn't let you be mad for long enough. Like I've gotten to the point where I kill things too quick, so I don't really get to be angry at anything. Maybe I just need to play Doom. Maybe that'd be the way to go. Ugh. Some Doom, where it's just like an endless gauntlet of things to explode. I'm sick of people's shit. I'm sick of every type of shit a person can possibly get. I'm sick of having to fucking live near other people. I'm just sick of people's fucking shit. Oh. I'm sick of watching everybody in this culture tap dance like nothing's happening while the world fucking crumbles. I'm sick of watching ass wipes pretend to care about shit. I'm just sick of it all. I haven't played Brutal Doom, no. I wish there was a way to just transport the Children of the Salt to a nice little compound like that, you know. The hard part is getting them there. Because I'd rather ride this out with a bunch of like-minded people and psychologically exploit them than ride this out with just me and my wife against a world filled with fucking stupid people. Self-destructive stupidity. Self-destructive greed. It's Christmas Day here in Norway, so Merry Christmas to everyone except Paulie. He's a hypocrite. Well, thank you, Piotr. I don't got any tips for you, Nick. I don't know fuck all about no jazz piano. Other than I like to listen to it. I don't think that helps you much. I'll be right back. Got a cotton mouth and some drink. Dude. Throw another log on the burner. Throw another log on the towering inferno. Okay. That's better. I have returned. Slave, salve from Brazil. Salve here is you. Slave in Portuguese is escravo. Whoa. Well, hello there, Mr. Naughty Priest. How are you doing tonight, my friend? I hope well. You never do tell me how you're doing, but I hope well. I hope you're okay. And if you're not, I hope you're okay soon. I really don't feel I can do it anymore until I got screwed by COVID, and now I have to scrape out a meager existence delivering pizza. It's so demoralizing. I don't even know what to tell you, dude. Like, I did what you're doing, but not during a fucking, like, not during these times, you know what I mean? I worked the hard, soul-grinding job, but not at a time when it's like everything's fucking unraveling around you. So I don't even know what to tell you. I really don't. I wish I had something better for you than that, but I just don't. I just do not. What did you think of the Wendy's chili when you worked there? That it was gross? Like, the last time I ordered a Wendy's chili was like probably whatever the time right before I got hired at Wendy's was. When I found out that Wendy's chili is like made with the leftover burgers that they didn't use the day before. You throw it in like a meat drawer thing, and it sits there and gets all gray and soggy, and then you chop it up and throw it in the chili. And when I figured that out, I was like, I'm not going to eat the chili anymore. So I haven't had Wendy's chili since then. Excuse me. Where do I get my pizza from? If I can get like Papa Murphy's take and bake, I prefer that shit to pretty much any other kind of pizza. I like take and bake because, like, I get the control over the bake. I like my pizzas well done. So, that means I get to bake it myself. Papa Murphy's Lamau, their dough is like Subway bread. I don't know, I like Papa Murphy's pizza. It's cheap and it tastes really good when you cook it in the oven. I've got the 11, I call it the 11-2 no look. It's my method for cooking a Papa Murphy's pizza. So if you have a Papa Murphy's near you and you've had it before and were underwhelmed, it's probably because the pizza was undercooked. I found so many people that hate Papa Murphy's pizza, and then when I ask them why, they go like, well, the dough is soggy. And I'm like, dipshit, that's your fault. It's take and bake. So with a Papa Murphy's pizza, if you get a large, assuming that you're getting a normal pizza, not one of their absurd, like, chunky fucking 10-layer pizzas or whatever. You gotta do different shit with those. But if you're getting like just a normal pizza with a couple toppings on it, the 11-2 no look. You preheat your oven, you throw the pizza in, you set a timer for 11 minutes. You don't look, you don't open the oven because then you lose heat. You don't check on the pizza, you don't poke the pizza, you don't be opening the fucking oven door at all. 11 minutes. Beep, 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 beep. Then you set a 2-minute timer and turn the broiler on high. 2 minutes. Beep, 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 beep. Then you pull that motherfucker out of the oven and it's perfect. Guaranteed. The 11-2 no look. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that, like, Papa Murphy's is the best, but we're talking, like, out of the delivery pizzas or the, like, easy, cheaper kind of pickup / delivery pizzas, Papa Murphy's is the best. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I would rather have a Papa Murphy's pizza and bake it myself than roll the dice on, like, Pizza Hut or Papa John's or fucking Round Table. Is Round Table even a thing anymore? I used to think Round Table was the dankest pizza on the market, but I don't even know if it's around anymore. Is there still a Round Table thing? Yeah, Papa Murphy's is, I think it's like a Western U.S. thing. Western and Southern U.S. thing. Although there was one in Ohio, so go figure that. I think there was one in Ohio. I may be wrong. I might be thinking of the one in Washington. What is it about the human body where your mind can decide to go to bed early, but the body decides then to wake up at 3 a.m.? I don't fucking know, dude. I guess what a scientist or whatever would probably say would be something like the mind and the body are not separate. And so your mind may have chosen to go to sleep, or your body may have sent signals to your mind telling you it was time to sleep. But it was your body and mind in tandem that made the decision to sleep, and it was your body and mind in tandem that made the decision to get out of bed at 3 a.m. Oof. like a fire that I have to back away from. It's going now. It's roaring. What's one thing you wish you could do right now but can't? Travel. I wish that I could slam out like 6 months worth of content and then just take like a 6-month vacation that nobody knows about. Like, I would totally love to spend the first half of 2021 literally shooting 6-7 days a week, 2 shows a day sometimes, so I could get a backlog of 6 months worth of content, and then as soon as I hit that backlog, disappearing for like 3-4 months, and nobody even knows I'm gone, and just go to Europe or some shit. That would be dope. But travel right now is just obviously not happening. I wish I could see cute girls' faces in public again. Any advice for growing out hair? My hair is about shoulder length, and I don't know what to expect. It's gonna get longer. There you go. Expect it to get longer. And expect it to get more annoying as it gets longer. Oh, Paul, you bless us with these streams. I don't know. I don't think I bless anybody with these streams, to be honest with you. To be quite frank with you, I have no fucking clue why anybody watches these streams. I guess sometimes they're funny, but for the most part, they're just... Favorite Jack Nicholson role? Either Jack Torrance or R.P. McMurphy, or the Joker. One of those 3 roles is the top one. I don't know which. I hope you and Amelia have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for the year of contento and laughs. You're welcome, dude. I hope you have a Merry Christmas too. The uncle I never had. Dude. I'm sorry to tell you this, but I don't have any room for any more nieces and nephews. I'm drowning in them as it is. And it looks like, circumstances willing, assuming I live, I'll probably have more. You've got to work from home all this time. Yeah. Is there a point behind that? Or was that just a statement? Like, I don't know. Like, yes, I have worked from home. It's like having a friend who knows how to carry a conversation. Some nights I feel like I can't. Like tonight and last night too. I was real iffy about starting these streams because last night I was already in this mood that has dominated my whole fucking day. I just feel so bad when I get in moods like this, and I wish I had more control over them, but I don't. I have these days, and thankfully they're not like often, but it's just like stress convergence days or whatever the fuck. It's like everything that's been annoying me or stressing me out or pissing me off all manages to converge on one day, and all of the stuffing that I've been doing of it no longer works. And I'm forced to face it. And really the way that I deal with it is like anger. And I've trained myself pretty well to just like stay away from the anger triggers or whatever you want to call them. And to just kind of be have more solitude on those days. But like some days are work days, meeting days. Today was both. We started the day with a meeting, and then we did work. Did another meeting after work. I just gotta say, man, I hope it all bears fruit. We're on the cusp of some, well, I mean, we've been making some major changes to the show and how it's developed. We're on the cusp of making some even more major changes to the lineup. Not lineup, but lineup of shows, adding things, retooling things. Making strides towards a different and more easily consumable and more predictable in terms of delivery show. And it's been fucking just a nightmare. It's like everything, I don't know. I mean, it's not a nightmare. Things are working out fine, but it's just, it takes hours and hours and hours of discussion, sometimes contentious, hours and hours of brainstorming, hours and hours of searching for the right person to hire, hours and hours of interviews, hours and hours of research. And it's just, ooh. And this week has been fucking killer. Killer. It's just been an insane week. It's been like over the top. Constant meetings, constant shooting, constant both. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Some time off coming up here. All the shooting that needs to be done is done. So I get to take some time off for Christmas. Not that I have any plans to do anything all that special for Christmas, but it's funny. I'm sitting here all salty, and it's actually the beginning of a little break for me, which is nice because I haven't had a legit break in a while. The last quote-unquote break that I had was so that I could load my entire life into a U-Haul and then spend 2 days driving it all the way across the fucking country. And then unloading it and then going right back to work immediately. That's the last break I got. So it's going to be nice. I wish I could travel during this break, but it makes no fucking sense right now. So I'll just be staying at home and trying to sleep in late and enjoy myself to the best of my ability here. Spend time outside and just kind of decompress, which probably means you guys will see less of these for a week or so. But I'm sure you'll forgive me. If you're going to travel, where would you go? There's a lot of places I'd like to see, honestly. I would love to travel in the EU. I'd love to see Great Britain and Ireland, the Netherlands, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal. I would love to see Dubai. I would love to travel to Japan and China, maybe even Russia, get a flavor of these places, get a little taste of the way things work in these places and how folks live and eat, what the weather's like, what the air smells like. I'd love to travel in Africa. Like, I'd love to go on a legit safari with no shooting in Africa and see some of these animals on preserves in their natural habitat. I'd love to travel in Australia and see some different parts of it, New Zealand. I'd love to see Jamaica someday. And South America. I'd love to travel all over South America. See you later, Todd DePrima. I'm still awake so that I could be here and watch you get fucking banned and waste another 5 minutes of your life to come back again. YouTube desperately needs a this account must be more than 30, like give me a slider between 10 and 30 days. This account must be at least 30 days old in order to make a post. Or even better, this account must have existed for at least 2 years in order to make a post. Oh man, that would be like fucking heaven. You guys have any idea what heaven that would be? Or like a ban all accounts from a specific IP. IP doesn't even matter anymore. It's so easy to fucking bounce your IP through a VPN that like IP banning isn't even the solution. The real solution to like people being banned and then coming back with massive amounts of alts is exactly what I'm talking about, requiring that an account be a certain amount of days old in order to even interact. But the 2 account rule, yeah. The 2 account rule would fix it totally. But no, nobody's interested in that. Nobody wants the 2 account rule. I'd be happy with just like an IQ test. Like if I start a stream and you want to chat in the stream, a question is asked with a little timer bar that would prove that you are at the very least capable at, you'd have able to go Google it real quick, and you'd have to just like the answer. And if you don't, like, it never tells you were wrong, and it never shows anybody any of your chats. You see them as you're watching the stream, but not another person even knows that you were there. That would be beautiful. See, I'm thinking about systems like this as a workaround for the 2 account system, fixing mass anonymity on the internet, and workarounds like account length, like account age. Although that would just encourage people to make, just spend like 9 years making fucking 9,000 accounts and then just letting them all age. You know what I mean? So that they can just keep coming back forever. So that doesn't really fix it either. But things like a basic test of like intelligence, Or like, ooh, this would be even better. Like something that algorithmically scans every comment that this person has made for grammar and like just sentence structure and the overuse of certain like meme terminology and just excludes those people immediately. Like I don't even have to ban them. Doesn't matter what they've done, you know what I mean? It just like excludes them without them knowing. That's the key. This whole like ghosting thing or whatever they call it, shadow banning. I think that's what the term is, shadow banning thing. That's the wave of the future. That is the absolute 100% wave of the future. The shadow ban. Having people out there and not even knowing that the person that they're trying to talk to and the chat that they're trying to talk in doesn't even know they exist. Oh my fucking God, bro. The thought of that makes me so rock hard. The shadow ban, dude. The thought of like there being 10 or 12 morons when I'm doing one of these streams just going, but they're just typing to themselves. Oh my fucking God, dude, I'm rock hard. I can't even imagine how much like a legitimate shadow ban would increase the quality of internet discourse like overnight. Like if there was a legitimate way to 100% untraceably shadow ban someone on any site as a personal choice, internet discourse would like, at least for me, it would like completely and utterly change overnight for the better and for always. How many people have you permanently banned from the last 2 years from your streams? 0. I do mass unbans on the regular. I don't tell people usually when I do them. I made the mistake of telling people that I'd recently done one, and it caused like a giant surge of trolls to return. But yeah, no, I don't permanently ban anybody from these streams. I, at my leisure, clear the ban list. So, no ban is permanent. That's pretty kind and fair. Whatever. Is what it is. Most of the time when I ban somebody, it's just because I don't want to hear their bullshit for a few weeks. You know what I mean? And I want to deny them and their 5 alts or whatever they're willing to make to keep spewing their bullshit access to me for a few weeks. And usually, you do enough hardcore banning, it works. What's up, Zach? What'd it do? You don't need to justify yourself. No, I know. I'm just trying to kind of like explain the psychology behind it. A lot of people are really interested in the way that I handle my chat, you know what I mean? In terms of, I guess, how it compares to other streamers. I take a very iron-fisted approach, but it also comes with no permanent consequence. So you could call it the soft iron fist, the velvet glove with a chainmail gauntlet underneath it. Did you see that Reddit thread with people complaining about being banned in your Highdeologies? No, I didn't. That's the saddest thing that I can think of, though, Like, if you look at the Pessimist Productions fan community, the people bitching on the subreddit about being banned out of a Highdeology have got to be literally the worms crawling underneath the bottom of the barrel. Am I wrong about that? Is there any other, is there a more belly crawling fucking low totem pole fan? I'm trying to think. Like somebody that's literally like gets banned out of here and then goes and makes a salty walty thread over on the subreddit. Oh my god, bro. Exactly, dude. No, exactly, Puds. The subreddit is literally just it's like, I don't know what it is, like 15 or 20 people that routinely shit post. And I'll check it like once every 3 or 4 months and leave a comment. Oh god. Oh, the subreddit. They're mad from being excommunicated from this section of the internet of all places. I know. This place where I just sit around and get high by my fire at night. They're like, Paul banned me. And like it's always some like like when the ban stories get told too, like when people are being all boo-hoo and salty about getting banned out of here, when the ban stories gets told, I'm always some fucking dude that banned them for like nothing. It's always like, I once called Paul a poopy head one time and he banned me. And I'm just like, I wish I could take that person and look at their post history and just take a picture of it and make it a reply to that comment or thread. You know what I mean? Show their post history of like spamming the N-word and asking the same stupid inane all caps question 15 fucking times a chat for months and months and months. There's a guy that does that. See, that's what makes me wish that Twitch wasn't such a stick up the ass company. There's this dude, pretty popular guy on Twitch, Asmongold, who streams World of Warcraft. I'm not a huge fan, but I really like it when he does his ban appeals. Because like people get banned out of his chat for saying stupid shit. And then he has this email address with a form that people can fill out saying like why they were banned, why they're sorry, you know, and you know, how they're going to be better in the future. And he goes through each one, and then he can, you know, they always have to put their Twitch username in there. They put their Twitch username, and he goes and he brings it up for the chat. And he shows the chat, like, here's what this dude was doing in the chat for the last 6 months. And then he makes the decision, like, nope, not going to unban you. See, if I had that power, I'd hold court like once a month. I would ban everybody, and it would be perma. And then anybody that wanted to unban would have once a month to make an alt and come appeal for their main account to be unbanned, and then that would be it. All that would have to happen was that YouTube would actually have to give me a set of chat tools that my moderators and I could use to look up post history for people. It would also be helpful if there were easy mod tools like, say, being able to click a person's comment and see the length, like how old their account is, so that some preemptive bans could happen. Like I could have Spectres banning people who just made an account 1 second ago but are talking like they know way too much to have just been 1 second ago people. You know what I mean? Like just be able to click on somebody and see like, oh, this, like a list of people that are currently watching the show. That would be dope. Like how dope would it be? Like on Twitch, A Twitch streamer can look and see a list of literally every single account that is currently tuned into their stream. How dope would it be if my mods had access to a little mod panel that showed them every account? They could ban like obvious troll account names before they even have a chance to fucking speak. And if they were really bored, they could just start clicking on names and find like no profile pic names that were just created 2 seconds ago and ban them before they ever get a chance to speak. But see, YouTube is like, they don't want to actually give you tools to make their chat worthwhile. In fact, YouTube for a long time has been trying to get rid of chat. So the actual dearth of tools that they give you is on purpose, because they've been wanting chat to get so toxic and so unmanageable that it's just not a thing that happens on their platform anymore. Like, there's no comment section. Your feedback is left with like ratings only. You know what I mean? They've been wanting to do that for so fucking long. Because, you know, they don't want to be held responsible for bullying and targeted harassment and death threats and all this other shit. All the types of shit that happen in their comments every fucking day. Every second of every day. Somebody's leaving a death threat somewhere on YouTube. And YouTube can only police so many of them. And so they're just like, you know what? Fuck this. We just want to get rid of the chat completely. And they've been slowly but surely moving towards that. Giving channel owners less and less control over what's posted underneath their shit and what's posted appended to their shit. And giving trolls more and more ability to post nonsense constantly. And doing nothing about it. Like, YouTube could implement a thing where it's like, your YouTube account must be 6 months old in order to make a comment on a YouTube video. For now, kick back and enjoy the show. Once you've settled in, you know what I mean? They could sell it like that and nobody would give a fuck. And it would literally change the whole fucking game. It'd be over. You know what I mean? Hope you have a Merry Christmas. Why, thank you. It's easier for them to just let it reach critical mass than implement mass policy changes to commenting. Oh, dude, there's not going to be no policy change involved. Like, YouTube is on the record about wanting to do away with the comment section and live chats on videos. What they're going to try and move to, and this will happen eventually, guys, and I'm sorry to tell you, but it'll probably ruin Highdeology. Well, it won't ruin Highdeology, but I'll have to set up one of those, like, sites like Destiny has, or Bosch, I guess, has one too, where it's like a concurrent site where when I stream, instead of going to YouTube, you go there and you do that chat, and it's heavily moderated over there, and that shows up on the screen. So it's not like it can't be gotten around. In fact, I gotta be honest with you, these shows would probably be better for it, but it means no more phone streams. That's for sure. Like, in order to get like a phone stream, I'll have to get like a laptop rig out here that I can hook a decent webcam to. And that'll approximate kind of a phone stream or whatever. Or a tablet, maybe. Isn't this the Pro Troll channel? Yeah. Yeah, it sure enough is. Paul, remember the early days of the trolls? Remember that time you made an account called Micromanagement Situation with no PFP and then got banned the first time you talked and had to come back on another one? Oh, dude, I really appreciate, like, no. See, Lord of Duck, I don't mean to correct you too harshly, but there are trolls, and then there are people that think that they're trolls, but are just being fucking idiots. Like, trolling is more than just being a fucking drooling moron. Like, a true troll job gets under a person's skin over a series of fucking, it's not like a single comment going, Like your dick is small and then you get banned, and then coming back and saying your dick is small, or you're fat and getting banned and then coming back and saying you're fat again. It's like, it's a total art form. It's subtle. It involves gaslighting. It involves engaging a person on their own ground at first and then going bad faith and knowing when to slowly but surely go bad faith. I mean, a real, genuine, fucking appreciable troll takes time and effort and, above all, intelligence to pull it off. Vomiting gobbledygook into a chat and then going to create another account called Mr. Winky Doodleface and coming back to do it a billion fucking times. All that takes is free time. And I'm sorry, but people that have been in car accidents that no longer have frontal lobes as a result of the damage that they sustained in them have lots of free time. You know, people suffering from dementia in an old folks' home have lots of free time. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it takes. I think the best trolling is creating a nuanced character and performing that character so convincingly that nobody knows if you even are a troll. I mean, that's one form of trolling, like the I call that deep cover trolling, where it's just like you're really trying to appear like inhabiting a character so that you can troll but make it look like you're not trolling, like it's just a part of this person's personality. That's deep cover trolling. Or pretending to be someone so that you can get information on somebody so that then you can use that information to troll them. So being all friendly or being the type of person that you think that person wants in order to get them to open up to you, and then you can start trolling them with it. That's, you know, examples of deep cover type of trolling, you know. And it is one of the harder ones to pull off because, yeah, like I Lamau, dude, deep cover troll. Isn't troll just the same as acting? Yeah, kind of. Which, like, lends credence to the argument that we're having that it actually takes skill and time and acumen to pull off a troll job. Because not every Joe Schmo can act. You know what I mean? It's just a talent that most people don't have. You throw a script in front of most people and put them up on a stage in front of 100 people and tell them, hey, read this. It's going to come out horribly, you know. So in the same way that not every Joe Schmo can act, not every Joe Schmo can troll, it doesn't stop them from trying. Joe Schmoes that shouldn't be acting, try acting every fucking day. And Joe Schmoes that shouldn't be trolling, try trolling every fucking day. And the only commonality between those two groups of sad people is that they all really believe they're doing what they're not doing. The people that can't act think it's like people that can't sing. Have you guys ever run across somebody that legit can't carry a tune but thinks they can hella sing? There's no convincing them. You know what I mean? Because it's not based on any kind of positive feedback. It's based on positive feedback in their own fucking fantasy. They've got a fantasy when they close their eyes that the caterwauling, dying cat sound coming out of their mouth sounds just like Lord or whatever the fuck. And they're going to be millionaires pretty soon. And they will straight out fucking sing to you and not hit a single fucking note. And literally screech and put their finger in their ear and do all the shit they see like actual singers like Mariah Carey do when they're trying really hard to hear the melody so that they can be ahead of the beat. And you know what I mean? They do this all this like singerish stuff. Like I've seen this shit. Like I've legitimately run into people like this, and there's no convincing them. There's no convincing them that they're not talented, they cannot sing, that they are not good. They will just believe it until the end of the fucking earth. You know what I mean? I'm horribly tone deaf and I know it, but I sing often anyway. There's nothing wrong with singing and knowing you're tone deaf. I'm talking about somebody that'll chat themselves up like, I'm a good singer and I've written songs and I'm working with a producer. And then you'll be like, oh, yeah? Well, let me hear you sing. And they're like, I need an easy friend. I do with an Dude, that Puddle of Mud cover, that may have been the meme of 2020 for me, to be honest with you. That Puddle of Mud cover of Nirvana's About a Girl may have been the funniest thing that happened in 2020. Every fucking high note, he looked like he was gonna shit his pants. Like literally straining so hard that the veins are coming out of his neck. Shit his pants. If you haven't seen it, look it up. I'm a musician, and my brother has terrible pitch, but thinks he's a great singer. It always pisses me off when he patronizes me. Well, bust a fucking guitar over that moron's head. Or, like, fuck him up to where he has to have his jaw wired shut for, like, 8 months. Then he won't sing. Wait till he's, like, 3 months into, like, the 8-month jaw wiring and sit down and go, bro, how you holding up? He'll be like, not good, man. Really not good. This fucking sucks, bro. I can't believe there's like 6 more months of this. I don't even know how I'm gonna make it, dude. You'd be like, yeah, well, just remember in 6 months, if you ever want to feel this again, sing. Because I'll be happy to bust that jaw and get it wired shut again, motherfucker. That's how you do it. Oh, well, thank you for the little adorable dog hugging a heart, and for the European money. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very cute. How so very cute that is. And heartwarming and touching. If you don't mind me saying so. I need an easy friend. I do with an Italian. I can sing, yeah. I'm an okay singer. Dumb question. Are you able to keep this foreign money in foreign currency? Or more likely, is it just, it's converted to whatever the US dollar amount is? YouTube takes care of all that on their back end, and whatever it spits out of me is, you know what I mean? Or whatever, wherever it spits out at me is whatever it's worth in American dollars. So yeah. Sing some Johnny Cash. There's a man coming round taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame. Everyone won't be treated all the same. There will be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around. The hair on your head will stand up at the terror in each sip and each sup. Will you partake of that last golden cup, or disappear into the potter's ground? Doom, 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 when the man comes around. Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers, 100 million angels singing. The multitudes are marching to that big kettle drum. Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying. It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come. And the whirlwind is in the thorn trees. The virgins are all trimming their wicks. The whirlwind is in the thorn tree. It's hard for thee to kick against the pricks. The whirlwind is in the thorn tree. Yeah, what a songwriter indeed. That's a fantastic fucking song. That's probably my favorite Johnny Cash song. If I had to pick one. No, I mean, like, there's, like, I don't know, man. I don't even really think the fedora tipping hardcore anti-theist atheist really exists anymore. Like, it's just, I don't know what, I look back on it now and it feels like it was like a phase for me. Like, I'm still an atheist, but, like, or maybe the world changed around me. And, like, now there are way worse things to worry about than stupid religious thought. Like, yeah, it's a worrisome, bothersome thing that humanity engages in, but I think we got some other problems. The Christopher Hitchens of YouTube, dude. There isn't a Christopher Hitchens of YouTube, bro. There's not a Christopher Hitchens of anything. There was a Christopher Hitchens, and that Christopher Hitchens died of cancer. I mean, I knew some people that, back in the day probably would have been like, man, fuck listening to this religious music. I'm not going to listen to music that has any kind of religious symbolism, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They weren't everybody, but there was certainly this hardcore anti-theist type of crowd that was just like, I'm not going to let any of that. And it's like, some of it is worthless. Some of it is completely empty, musically fucking unnotable garbage. And some of it is beautiful, like that song. That song entirely inspired by religion. There's that Down to the River and Pray song. Oh Lord, let's go down, 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 let's go down. I can't remember the fucking words to it. There's a lot of beautiful little hymns. I can't remember how that song goes. Let's go down to the river and pray, singing about that good old way. There's lots of good religious hymns. And there's lots of really bad ones too. The old rugged cross, yeah. What was the one that I had to sing in Handler? There was a hymn that I had to learn in Handler, and like the lines from that, I'm probably not going to be able to. I'm trying to remember what it was. Fuck. We could do a little segment here on Highdeology called Acapella, dude. Where the chat calls out songs, and when I see one that I know and I feel like singing and that I know the words to, I try and sing it a cappella or acapella. Oh yeah, well the circle be unbroken, yeah. Oh yeah, that was the song in Handler, I think. Will the circle be unbroken? By and by, Lord, by and by. There's a better home awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. That's a good one. That's a pretty song. Has a pretty melody. What are your thoughts on Alice in Chains? I don't really like them, bro. I was never able to get into Lane Staley's voice. I had no disrespect, but I got no problem with people that are fans, but I just can't. His voice was just never sounded cool to me. Sorry, dude. It's just the truth. Just the truth. Dude, that song, The Rooster, whatever, it might be a good song. Like, okay, I'll tell you, Alice in Chains' like, best song is Man in the Box. That's like about all I can hang with. The Rooster might be a good song, but dude, it got fucking, you have to understand. Back in the 90s, it just got drilled into my head. And I heard it so many fucking times. Every time I'd turn on the radio to drive to school, I would hear it at least once for like 4 years, at least. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like a Mastodon. Yeah, Blood Mountain is a dope ass album. It's the one with Circle of Sasquatch on it, isn't it? The dude, that's a badass album. Yeah, no, I can dig some Blood Mountain, dude. Blood Mountain is some real shit. Yeah, 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 I know. It's a concept album about all these different giant beasts coming together on Blood Mountain to fight and see who's the king of fucking Blood Mountain, basically. No, I wasn't really into hardcore. With paintings, there is Da Vinci. With film, there's Kubrick. Who are the greats with music? Louis Armstrong, Michael Jackson, Ella Fitzgerald, Kurt Cobain. I don't know. Elvis, I guess, maybe Elvis. I don't know. Do you think we'll ever get to the point in the music industry where creativity and originality will be extremely hard to achieve a good song? Maybe in 30 years, we'll have made most of what's possible. That's just like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but that's just like limited non-artistic thinking. And I don't even mean that as like a pejorative. I'm not like slinging an insult at you. I'm just telling you, you're not thinking artistically. There's no limit to art. There's no limit to music. Music changes, and I hate to tell you this, but music comes back and is reimagined through different eyes and different genres, and is endlessly reinvented and endlessly repurposed and endlessly rewritten. There's no end to it. Like, music is one of the ways that humanity keeps its history. You could look at all of human history as a song that's changed in timbre and note as the aeons have passed, as the decades have gone by, but it's still playing. And all you got to do is just tune into the dominant culture and listen to it, and there it is. Nah, man. As long as there are human beings, there will be music to be made, and new genres of music to be invented, and new blends of music to be tried, and new instruments invented, new ways of making music. It's just limited thinking, dude. Human beings have been making music since the first fucking proto-human picked up a stick and banged it against the tree and was like, then the other monkey was like, well, here's a little story I'd like to tell about three bad brothers you know so well. It started way back in history with Ad Rock, MCA, and me, Mike D. You know, and then after that, music was born. Do you think one day there might be an AI that generates certain types of music that become more popular than humans? I think that was in Cyberpunk. I might be wrong, though. Sure. I could totally see it. I could totally see, something like an AI or whatever the fuck, algorithmically learning how to make. And in fact, it probably already exists, honestly. Like, when it comes to pleasing tunes and stuff, they're probably already working on AIs that can, to a limited extent, be programmed to make endless permutations of tunes and instruments that are pleasing to the human ear in various ways and be 90% successful at it now. I'd be willing to bet that that's already there. So, oh yeah. I mean, we've gotten little tastes of it here and there. These like dead artists being resurrected to do these posthumous roles in movies, like Grand Moff Tarkin, and you know what I mean. And on one hand, it's kind of cool, and on the other hand, it's really fucking creepy that this dead person is being resurrected in ever more undetectable ways. So you're absolutely right. Like, we may be moving into a future where, somebody can feed Nirvana's entire catalog and bootleg catalog into an AI, and that AI can approximate Kurt Cobain's writing style and Chris Novoselic's bass style and fucking, you know what I mean? Conglomerate it all together and just like bring Nirvana back 50 years after they're all dead and have them do a whole new album. And it's like the chart topping fucking album, you know what I mean? But all these dudes are dead and their estates are benefiting from it. That'd be crazy to think that like Dave Grohl's great grandson someday might be like a multi-billionaire because Nirvana might come back. You know what I mean? Think about that shit. Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic's great 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 grandson and granddaughter may end up being like billionaires in the future because Nirvana comes back. That would be fun. But it would also be very creepy. Yeah, the Beatles. Do you like Merrily We Roll Along? No, I haven't heard of it. So I guess the answer would be I haven't heard of it, not no. Do you prefer Angry Video Game Nerd or JonTron? You mean for a video game review? It depends, dude. All right. You want me to be really honest with you? If we're talking about straight up video game reviews, right? Here's the strengths. Let's pit these two against each other. Let's set aside the politics because I know everybody wants to meme about how JonTron's like a Pepe the Frog, alt-right guy or whatever the fuck it is now, right? Let's just take them as video game reviewers. How funny, how fun, and how informative are their video game reviews? So let's start with James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. Number one, you cannot take away from him that he's a pioneer. He was a pioneer of the short and medium form, medium effort video game review on YouTube. He really kind of invented it. the idea of showing video game footage and doing a comedic review and playing a character. He was kind of like hitting on all cylinders, right? So you got to give that to him. He's an innovator, and without him, the guy that we're putting him up against wouldn't even probably be in the game. So let's set that aside. How well has the AVGN stuff aged? Well, I've watched a lot of it. Not super recently, but when I lived with TJ and Scotty back at the Tinderbox, so right around the birth of DFF, that a couple years ago, I watched a lot of AVGN because it's something that TJ will throw on every once in a while. He'll just throw on a playlist and let it pick randomly, which one. So my answer to that question that I asked myself, does it hold up, is yes and no. Some of them are just kind of hard to watch now because the character feels just so forced and overdone. And some of them transcend that and are genuinely funny. You know what I mean? Then, let's take John Jafari, his contender, a.k.a. JonTron, who, if you go look at his video game reviews, I'm sorry, dude, they hold up way better. They're more modern feeling. I think they're a little bit even more timeless because they're just... I don't know, dude. He's really funny. He's got a real knack for being funny while talking about video games that is only really even closely matched by James Rolfe. Which one wins? In my mind, for my dollar, I would go with like JonTron, probably. I really enjoyed his video game reviews when that's what he was doing. I thought that they were fucking hilarious. And I think they hold up better if you go back and watch his old ones. Now, there's nowhere near as many of them, and certainly because of that, nowhere near as many classic old JonTron reviews. But I'm telling you, for my buck, I'd rather watch those. I've seen enough of the angry video game nerd thing. I almost feel like James Rolfe probably kind of like hates putting on the nerd costumes these days and doing it. In fact, it kind of comes out in his performance. Like whenever he dons the nerd costume these days, it just feels like something like, oh man, I got to do this fucking thing again. Like I feel like creatively as a person, he's really wanted to move on for a long time, but he hasn't wanted to alienate his viewers who are mostly there for more nerd stuff. So he has to keep like being the nerd, and that's gotta suck. You know what I mean? I'm glad. That's why I'm glad I didn't do a gimmick, or rather that I did a gimmick that just evolves with me. Like my gimmick is there is no gimmick. My gimmick is that I just, whatever, I talk shit. And my opinions change and my personality goes through, swings like people's personalities tend to do. And that's my concept. I'm glad I didn't decide to be like some fucking character or some shit. The only person that I've seen make that work in the long term, whose career I actually think is pretty funny and pretty awesome, is fucking Casey Tron. By the way, my favorite DP guest of all time as well was Casey Tron. Dude, I thought she was fucking hilarious. Like her dry sense of humor and her the amount of self-awareness that she has to appear so absolutely oblivious. It was so weird. The first time we had Casey Tron on, and after the show, she dropped character. And I was like, whoa. she inhabits it so well, you know what I mean, that it, like, even though I knew it was a character going in, it was so strange to hear her drop character at the end of it. After, the show was wrapped and we did our little thank you for coming on type of thing. I was like, whoa. I mean, that's the sign of a talented actress. Or actor, I guess, is what they want everybody to be called now. Everybody's an actor now. There's no such thing as actress. But can I ask you this? Is a dude that sews thing a seamster? Let that bake your noodle. I can get this whole, like, we don't want to be called actresses anymore. We want to be called actors. Okay, that's cool. But is a dude that sews things a seamster? No, not a tailor, dude. Just a guy that sews seams. Is he a seamster? Or is he a seamstress? Hmm? Why is actor, actress not cool anymore? Um, a couple of reasons, and I may get corrected in the chat. So correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Number one, it denotes that, like, they're doing something different. It denotes that a male actor and a male actress are doing something different. Like, it segments acting into actors and actresses, and that's really not necessary. And that goes all the way back in theater. Gender never really mattered in theater until actor and actress became a thing. Um, you know, women routinely played men, and men routinely played women in theater all throughout history. I will admit that during a lot of the classically studied theatrical periods, most of the people on stage were men. But that was more due to societal fucking bullshit than lack of talented women. And so I think that's kind of the point, is like people kind of shit on female actresses because the movie industry tends to be a pretty male-dominated industry, and it tells a lot of male-dominated stories. And yet, there are a fair share of female-centric stories, female-dominated kind of franchises. And I think the idea is that they would just like to be actors. They would like to be just referred to as actors. They would like to be referred to at least by the same title as the male actors are, who get most of the accolades and most of the juicy roles and shit. And I don't have a problem with that. Number one. Number two, it splits acting, once again, into an unnecessary gender binary. There are people that don't identify as male or female. There are non-binary folk that feel that they don't really line up with either of those genders, and thus creating actor and actress would force an NB person or a trans person to assume a title for their life's work that assigns them a gender that they don't really feel like they have. Whereas if actor is for everyone and gender neutral, then that never comes up, because an NB person is an actor, a person who identifies as a woman is an actor, a person who identifies as a man is an actor, a trans person is an actor. Right? So that's the best I can explain it. I'm probably not doing very well at it, but that's about as good as I can give it to you. I don't really have a problem with it, as explained. Yeah, why bother with the S? Is it doctor and doctress? Right. Like it's a strange it's a strange gender definition in a professional person, a person who, if they want to excel in their craft, typically study for years and years and years, and put in every bit as much work into their craft as a doctor puts in into learning human anatomy. And to say that a man and a woman and an NB person and a trans person that graduates with a doctorate is now a doctor, but to say that, if you get that doctorate in theater arts or theater history, you're an actor or an actress based on a gender binary that doesn't really exist. That's really the point, I think. And like, look, there are plenty of people out there that still say actress. I'm sure there are plenty of actresses out there who don't mind being referred to as actresses. So it's not some uniform thing, and it's not something that I make a big deal out of. But I have been trying to catch myself from doing it, because really, an actor is an actor is an actor is an actor. It makes sense. It doesn't make sense to make, you know, like the term actor is not it's not by definition masculine in its origin anyway. Like, if you look at the term actor, it's like an entity that has agency. So anything with agency that or I guess a force could be an actor upon another force. But that's kind of a different definition of act than we're talking about. And in the theatrical sense, an actor is a being with agency, right? They're any being that can have the agency to choose to take on a role and to live in the shoes of another human being. And so why would that need to necessarily be separated into gender differences? I think one of the reasons that it persists is because women get far less roles in Hollywood than men are, and thus would be underrepresented at the Oscars, likely. Because the pool of movies for the Oscars to pull from would have a smaller group of female actors and non-binary and trans actors who identified as actresses in them. So if they got rid of the best actor, best actresses, and just made best actor a winner takes all thing, I think their fear is that men would just dominate it forever. And I think that we actually live at a time now where that's probably not true. I don't think that women would win it as often as men do, just due to the sheer number of roles that go to, cis men. But I don't think it would be inconceivable that a woman would win an Oscar. Not that I fucking think an Oscar matters a fucking whit now anyway. But back in the day, getting an Oscar used to mean something. And I'm telling you, like, if that, like, credibility hadn't gone away, and that remained a truth. And I mean, it still does, too. Getting an Oscar is very prestigious for your career. It adds tremendously to your quote-unquote quote as an actor. If you have... Oh, somebody's just, like, pulling up in their truck. Should I walk over there and ask him what he needs? Should I walk over there and ask him how I can help him? Yeah, there's just like a truck that just like pulled up. Just parked. letting his truck warm up or some shit. I don't know. Neighbor, maybe. Who knows? Cheek, 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 cheek. The CB radio days have come back to haunt you. Oh shit, dude. You don't think it's Hightower, do you? And then he just pulled away. Dun, dun, dun. What was that shit? A trucker popped out. He's come for his kroners, dude. Do you think it's Piotr? Dude, I wonder if, like, my neighbors are planning a murder party. Like, I wonder if they've heard me back here talking my crazy liberal shit late into the night and they're sick of it and they're planning to kill me. All right, I scoped him out last night. I'm not sure if he saw me. It looked like he was staring at the fire. Sits out there into the wee hours. Did you ever see that movie Society, Paul? They're a bunch of rich people and they're gonna eat you for dinner. Are they? Yeah, no, I've seen Society. Back tits, dude. That's all I have to say to let you know I've seen Society. Paul wants to be that guy the kids in the neighborhood are scared of and won't let their ball get on his lawn. Yeah, I want to be the James Earl Jones in The Sandlot. The old man with the mean-ass dog. You know what I mean? That, like, nobody wants to get caught in his yard. That's a me. I just rewatched Eyes Wide Shut. God damn, dude, I love it. It's my favorite Kubrick. Oh my god, get out of here. Get out of here, you. Paul wants to be that guy. All the kids in the neighborhood tell stories about old man Paul and his foul temper. Oh yeah. The weird old man that lives in that house has a foul temper. Whatever, man. Well, I think I'm done. Good night, everybody. I'll see you next time. Happy Merry Christmas.